Mikel Arteta interested in bringing Real Madrid star Arda Guler to Arsenal. Arsenal are 6 points clear at the top in the Premier League standings and in pole position to secure the title. However, they remain intent on bolstering their squad, and Mikel Arteta has personally requested a signing from the club. Caught Offside has reported that Arteta wants to bring Arda Guler from Real Madrid to Arsenal. According to the source, the Turkish international is viewed as the ideal player by the Gunners' coach to revamp his side. He is valued at £78 million on Transfermarkt and has contributed to 3 goals and 8 assists in all competitions this season, so Arsenal will need to pay a hefty fee if they are to convince Los Blancos into selling one of their most prized youngsters. Guler's swoop may be possible in the summer. Xabi Alonso counted on Arda Guler's services at Real Madrid since the time he took over the helm from Carlo Ancelotti last summer, but with Jude Bellingham preferring to play as the number 10, the Turk's game time has reduced in recent months. With Madrid expected to sign a midfielder in the summer and Bellingham expected to be used in an advanced position perpetually, Guler could consider his future if he continues to remain on the bench in the Spanish capital. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal side would be significantly strengthened by Guler's addition. He can compete with the injury-prone Martin Odegaard for a spot as the attacking midfielder and offer support behind Bukayo Saka as the team's right winger too. One of the caveats surrounding Guler's prospective move to Arsenal is he risks being second fiddle at the Emirates Stadium as well, so if he was to leave Real Madrid, he is likely to want guarantees over game time, which Arteta may not be able to provide. Chelsea and Arsenal in talks to sign Paris Saint-Germain's winger. Premier League giants Chelsea and Arsenal are both in talks to sign the Paris Saint-Germain's winger. Just like that, we have seen another era begin for Chelsea in this never-ending project to get back to competitiveness under the Blueco ownership. Despite spending over £1 billion on the squad since taking over in 2022, the club are in a worse position now than it was under the management of Thomas Tuchel, when there was no certainty over the future. That takes some doing, that is for sure. It is largely due to the questionable transfer model that has been put in place at Chelsea, where the emphasis seems to be on player trading rather than success. That is not how you run a top club, and it is unsurprising that the fans are now completely starting to turn on this ownership. Bedhad Eghbali was in attendance at Fulham to hear the chants against him. Let's see how he reacts. Chelsea continued to be linked with players despite their shaky transfer record under these owners and sporting directors. The latest on their radar is a PSG winger. As reported by Team Talk, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City, and Liverpool have all been spoken to and are in regular contact regarding Bradley Barcola. They have been made aware that the winger could be an option in the summer, but PSG would not entertain an offer this winter. Chelsea and Arsenal in talks to sign Paris Saint-Germain's winger. Having joined PSG in the summer of 2023, Barcola has played his part in the club's historic success over the past couple of years. He has scored 31 goals and provided 34 assists in the 2.5 seasons since then. So, at 23 years of age, he is only going to get better moving forward. So it is surprising to see the France international being linked with a move away, as he has a contract until the summer of 2028. Barcola could be a decent addition for Chelsea on the left wing. The club did sign both Alejandro Garnacho and Jamie Gittins in the summer, but so far neither has convinced that they are capable of being a starter for the Blues there. Arsenal winger Gabriel Martinelli has been widely criticized for pushing Connor Bradley just moments after the Liverpool defender seemingly picked up a knee injury. It was a moment that left everyone in shock. With just seconds left of Thursday's Premier League game between Arsenal and Liverpool at the Emirates, Connor Bradley fell to the ground while trying to clear the ball from danger. Most people immediately feared for the defender as he appeared to twist his knee. "Doesn't look good. Something's gone," uttered Gary Neville on commentary for Sky Sports. But Gabriel Martinelli's reaction was different. He dropped the ball on top of Bradley before nudging his knee into him and aggressively pushing him off the pitch. Neville described Martinelli as an idiot for his actions. And it's hard to disagree with that. Liverpool injury news and possible return dates after Connor Bradley's setback. Gary Lineker shares Liverpool rumor he heard about Arne Slot and Richard Hughes. Liverpool and Arne Slot would be dreading the diagnosis on Bradley's injury. There's a real possibility he's picked up a serious knee complaint. Thousands of Liverpool fans would have thought of those dreaded 3 letters, ACL, as Bradley hit the floor in agony. What Martinelli did was disgraceful. The Brazilian winger was probably desperate to resume the game and try to find a winner, but his actions were inexcusable and deplorable. He showed complete disregard for another player's safety. And what is his punishment? A yellow card. That's what referee Anthony Taylor gave Martinelli on Thursday. To say that was a lenient punishment would be the understatement of the season. Not many players would get away with throwing a ball at a fellow professional, let alone one that's lying stricken on the floor. Taylor let Bradley down by not sending Martinelli off, and so did the video assistant referee John Brooks, who should have persuaded his colleague to look at the pitchside monitor and change his decision. Martinelli apologized to Bradley for his behavior, and rightly so, but that shouldn't excuse him from being properly punished. But, as per a report on Friday, it's unlikely that the FA will take retrospective action against Martinelli. That's because Taylor booked him. According to the FA's rules, it can take retrospective disciplinary action if video evidence clearly shows that a player has committed a dismissal offense that wasn't seen by the match officials or reviewed by VAR. But it can only do that if the specific act of misconduct was not seen or reviewed, and Taylor clearly saw enough to show Martinelli a yellow card. Forget the rules, common sense must be applied here. Martinelli deserved a red card on Thursday, and therefore deserves to be handed a minimum 3-game ban, emphasis on minimum. Anything less than that feels completely unfair. A suspension for Martinelli won't change Liverpool's season. The Reds have already faced Arsenal twice in the Premier League this term and won't be challenging for the title after falling 14 points behind the Gunners. It also won't make any difference to Bradley, who is probably waiting anxiously to discover the extent of his knee injury. Arsenal have perfect Piero Hincapié replacement after latest Mikel Arteta injury blow. Arsenal suffer fresh injury blow, but Mikel Arteta has a number of options to call upon. Mikel Arteta's defensive issues at Arsenal continue. The Gunners have endured a number of problems regarding the backline this season, with several starting stars missing games. William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Christian Mosquera, Ricardo Calafiori, Jurrien Timber, Ben White, and Piero Hincapié have all been absent through injury at some stage this campaign. Mosquera and Calafiori are currently in the treatment room and look set to be joined by Hincapié as the 24-year-old was forced off against Liverpool on Thursday. The defender, whom the Gunners signed on loan from Bayer Leverkusen in the summer, was replaced by Miles Lewis-Skelly shortly before the hour mark. The Ecuadorian international was spotted holding the back of his right leg before hitting the deck and is set to undergo scans amid fears he has suffered a potential hamstring injury. It's believed Hincapié felt tightness in the area during the second half, and following consultation with Arteta, he eventually went to ground so that he could receive treatment. Hincapié has started Arsenal's last 10 Premier League matches, and the hope will be that he is not ruled out for a prolonged period. The Gunners face Portsmouth in the FA Cup on Sunday, before taking on Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-final on Wednesday. Arsenal's side then travel to Nottingham Forest on January 17th, Inter Milan on January 20th, and then entertain Manchester United on January 25th. If Hincapié is forced to miss some of the aforementioned games, Arteta could call upon Lewis-Skelly. The 19-year-old has not been afforded as many minutes this season after a breakout 2024-25 campaign, but has shown he is more than adequate to perform at left back. The Endhider did look rusty against Liverpool, however, and may need time to get back up to speed. Another option Arteta will soon have is Calafiori. The Italian sustained a very awkward injury in the build-up to the visit of Brighton on December 27th, but ahead of the match against Liverpool, Arteta said he and Mosquera were very close to returning.
"They're out again," he said at his pre-match press conference. "I think pretty soon they will return. They have to go through the last stage of the rehab, and if everything goes well, hopefully soon they will be available for selection." So, despite Hincapi picking up a fresh injury, Arteta does have Lewis Skelly as a potential replacement to play at left back, as well as the returning Calafiori. Of course, it is also possible that Jurrien Timber shifts over to left back, with Ben White coming in on the right.